Hello, I'm Cathy.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Ola, and welcome to Ladybird Book Club. Yeah.
Tomorrow it is the full moon of June, at least in the UK, and June's full moon is the strawberry moon. So in my head, I immediately regretted that we'd already talked about the Hating Game because that strongly features strawberries in it.
Yes,
and
it
I
does.
thought that would have been the perfect book to talk about, but we've already talked about it and Cathy would not want to read it again. So,
Like, it's a good book, but it did make me cringe a lot.
yeah. So instead, I was connecting the dots in my brain and I thought, strawberries and cream, Wimbledon, Britain. So today we are looking at books by British authors.
Cool.
Oh, that I like.
Or
this.
books that are like give you British vibes.
Yeah.
So we say?
Vibe.
Like,
Yeah.
Always the vibes.
strawberries and cream,
Britain.
Britain,
Cool.
be inspired. So we're looking at British books today.
Woo!
Okay, Rachel, what's your first British book?
Well, I looked at my bookshelf and I thought, I haven't read a lot of these books. and then I went on the internet and I looked at the multiple articles about the best British books. And I hadn't read a lot of those. So I got a bit concerned. And then I was thinking about books that I associate with being British. And a lot of them were children's books.
I had that thought too.
Yeah, so like Edie Blyton, Roald Dahl,
Yeah.
Harry Potter,
Peter Pan.
Peter Pan. Oh, Wind in the Willows,
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really good British children's fiction.
Yeah.
So I have brought The Borrowers by Mary Norton,
Oh, good
which
choice.
I adore. The Borrowers.
I've actually never read the book though.
Have you not?
No.
Oh, I read it as a child, probably as a teenager. I haven't read it in a long time. Would you like to borrow it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, Borrow the Borrows?
Borrow the Borrowers.
And then when I was in primary school, our library had the sequels as well. So there's I think there's like 4 or 5 Borrowers books. But I just think they're just really cute and wholesome, and they're in this British house in the countryside, and I think because they were written shortly after the war, and I think the whole principle of the Borrowers just taking little bits of what they need and making do with the scraps that they get from.
Mend.
Yeah, I was looking at it on my bookshelf today thinking, what should I bring? And it just struck me that maybe it was like a leftover of that kind of make do and mend attitude.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like The Borrowers as a children's book. I really like the cheesy film from the early noughties with Baby Tom Felton in.
Yeah, I love that film. It's so cute.
Yes, The Borrowers. Cathy, what's your next book?
Okay.
What's your first book?
My first book is Cider with Rosie. So this perhaps isn't quite as well known now. It's by Laurie Lee. It's a non-fiction book, and it's Laurie Lee recounting his memories of growing up in a very cute English village in the middle of nowhere. I think like somewhere down south. I can't remember where exactly. And it kind of goes through the different seasons and growing up, and kind of again his memories like pre-First World War. So it's kind of just before these kind of villages were perhaps lost to modernisation. But the writing's so beautiful, and it's like, it's a bit like The Shire, like how it's written. So it's a very beautiful thing of a lot of things that I think English people treasure, like summer picnics and village life and fetes and being snowed in and old school days and drinking cider. So yeah, that's my first choice. It's a very sweet book, and it's just so beautifully written. It's very poetic. Should we do one of Ola's?
Yes.
Ola, do you want to pass me one of your books? Here it comes, thank you. Okay. Queen Elizabeth.
A Platinum Jubilee celebration.
Yes. So, all your school gave you this, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Tell us about it.
It's a non-fiction book about Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee.
And is it all about Queen Elizabeth?
Yeah.
So I think actually lots of children up and down the country will have received these books. I think I've just dropped a bookmark.
in there.
And it's all about the life of Queen Elizabeth and her reign. So yes, I think for perhaps a generation to come, this will be quite a book of their childhood memories. I think it's really sweet. Okay, so that was Ola's first pick. Rachel!
My next book is a very battered copy of Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, and Cathy had also brought this. But as we are in Cathy's house, she replaced it with something else.
I swapped to a different book, so Rachel could be.
Thank you.
The sole presenter of Pride and Prejudice.
I just think it's a good book, innit?
It is a good book.
Jane Austen's British, isn't she?
She's British. I think...
That's all I have to say.
I think a lot of people from perhaps outside of England, when they're thinking of what is English writing like, they think of Jane Austen. Yeah.
Jane Austen, the Brontes, Charles Dickens.
Yeah.
Those are like the big three, I would think.
Oh yeah, and the idea of like the drama being lots of different parties and people like being gossipy. Like, I think that fits in really well.
Yeah, and just, I don't know, because obviously when this was released, it wasn't originally a book, it was in newspapers and magazines.
It serialised?
Yeah, it was serialised.
I didn't know about that.
So I just think, what an interesting, imagine getting Pride and Prejudice a little bit at a time. I just think, wow. I don't know. I think I would have enjoyed that.
Yes. I think that's probably why the miniseries perhaps worked so well.
Yeah.
Because it kind of followed that original format.
I studied this in sixth form. I will say, the first time that we had to read it, I absolutely hated it. I proper had to make myself read it. But then once I'd read it, I loved it.
Yeah, do you know, it took me 2 or 3 attempts to read it. I kept stopping. So I'm not like an Austen fangirl.
Yeah, this is the only Austen I've ever read. I own copies of other books. I just haven't got around to reading them.
I've read Emma. I think that's the only other one I've read through. But it is a good book, but sometimes it takes a bit of sinking into. Next! Okay, my next book is Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman.
Such a cool cover.
It is a very cool cover.
My cover is really boring.
That is so cool.
And I haven't actually read the book, but I just know that my cover's a bit boring.
Just trying to see when this one came out. Okay, I think this is a 1990 edition.
It looks very nice.
That's why it's so cool. 90s. So Good Omens is a very funny fantasy adventure, I guess, but set in the UK, and the idea is that the Antichrist has come. He's been swapped at birth to the wrong parents, and an angel and a demon are working together to try and stop the apocalypse from happening, because although they're meant to want for it to happen and for their side to win, they're actually quite fond of Earth and they don't want it to end. So it's an angel and demon partnering up to try and stop the apocalypse. It's very irreverent and funny and witty, and I think I picked this book because it showcases a lot of British humour. And I really like that. I love early on in the chapters, the main demon, what's the main demon called?
Crowley.
Crowley's like thinking of his great successes as a demon, and he prides himself on creating things that make people spawn their own evil. And one of his greatest achievements is like the M25, because it frustrates and angers people so much that they then go home and be grumpy to other people. And I love the sense of humour in it, and it's so good. There's a really good BBC radio adaptation of it as well, that Rob and I like to listen to on long car journeys. And that's also very good and very fun, as well as like the TV show. Ola, do you want to do your next one?
Yeah, this is my last book.
Okay. This is one of your favourites, isn't it?
Yes, I love it.
What is it?
So it's what the Ladybird had on holiday, and it's about a little ladybird going on holiday to London and meeting a bunch of animals at a zoo. And then there's these 2 burglars, and the burglars are trying to steal the Queen's crown.
And why did you pick it for like an English book?
Because it's set in London, and it's by Julia Donaldson.
Yeah.
Here they are at Buckingham Palace.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And on every page in that, the ladybird is somewhere.
Oh, really?
And like you get to try and find the ladybird in
I found the
every
ladybird.
page.
I found the ladybird. I'll stop now. The Queen!
Wait, there's a ladybird on her crown.
There is.
There
What
we
the
go.
Ladybird heard on holiday.
Lovely.
There are lots of What the Ladybird Heard books, aren't there?
Oh, are there?
I think
Yes,
so.
they are.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's a whole new world for me.
No. Disney will kill us.
We can't take on Disney. Okay, last round.
Last round! My last book is Tolkien's The Hobbit, Another book that Cathy had also picked out.
Great minds.
Great minds. In my research, there was like a poll in 2003 of finding the nation's favourite book, and Lord of the Rings won.
Yay!
But we've already talked about Lord of the Rings in 3 videos, which you should go and watch. Cathy, why did you bring The Hobbit originally?
Well, I thought Lord of the Rings, but actually I think The Hobbit is more British than Lord of the Rings is. Because it's so darn cute. I guess, by the way, we kind of talk about like an idealised version of Britain today.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's the whole stereotypical like arable village life. Everyone's nice to each other and has tea parties and things like that.
So that's not always the case.
No.
But, you know, it's a strawberry and cream
Yeah.
video. This isn't a gritty reality video. But I think like The Hobbit in particular, you know, like you start off in the Shire. Our main hero is a portly middle-aged man who kind of is very concerned that he's left his handkerchief at home. He gets knocked out of the big battle at the end. We don't even see like the big war. And it's more of like he wins.
Just a bit of a bumbling idiot, isn't he?
Yeah, that's it. And he wins the day more by having like good manners and courage when it really matters. And I quite like that. Like, I think that's a very English attitude of like, it's not being the sword wielding hero that saves the day. It's a little hobbit.
And let's climb the mountain until we find a dragon.
Let's climb up. Yeah. All is also read The Hobbit.
That was my first like big book that I read.
Yeah. Oh, that we read to you at bedtime.
Yeah.
What did you think of The Hobbit? She's giving a thumbs up.
A double thumbs up.
Double thumbs up.
Not just one thumbs up. A double thumbs up. Oh,
Oh,
she's coming.
she's coming to camera to show you. That's all giving you thumbs up because she likes The Hobbit.
Yeah.
And then my last British book, again, this is a bit of a wild card because it's fairly recent. This is Storyland by Amy Jeffs, and it's a new mythology of Britain. So Amy Jeffs is a historian, and she specialises in like really ancient British myths and legends, like before the Anglo-Saxons. And she's taken several of those legends and kind of told her own story of them. So in this book, you get like each chapter is a retelling of a very ancient British myth. And then at the end, there's like a little bit of an explanation of how we know about that myth and where it came from.
Cool.
So you get a bit of research, a bit of story, and some really beautiful artwork. So she's made her own like, what's it called, lino cut pictures. So they are in the come on camera.
So cool.
So there's one for each story that she tells.
That's cool.
Yeah. Quite cool. Yeah. Ominous, right?
Oh, I like that.
Oh, that is so cool.
So yeah, I think this is a really cool book to read. So those are some British books we recommend in celebration of June's Strawberry Moon. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please do like and subscribe if you haven't done so already.
And thank you for 100 subscribers.
Yes, thank you. We have now got 100 plus subscribers. So thanks to everyone who has subscribed. It's made our day. We've been really thrilled with that.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Tomorrow is the Strawberry Moon. It's the moon of July. No.
We think we're going to be so swished, don't we? And it gets 30 seconds in and we've lost the plot.
With scones.
With scones or scones.
Who says scones?
Rob.
Daddy. Wait. Where's my other book?